Warning. The content you are about to view contains lots of yapping. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, extreme frustration, temper tantrums, racial bigotry, hateful feelings, emotional distress, bipolar induction, confusion, narcissistic rage, realization of idiocy and/or ignorance, cliché teenage attitude, traumatic epiphanies, and/or poor gameplay. Viewer discretion is critically advised.
Bruh.
All right, how's it going? It is Skoda based, and today or tonight, depending on what time it is for you, I got some interesting news. As you can clearly see on the top or on the right of the screen, I got an offensive chat penalty because this jerk reported me in a heated conversation, and now I'm kicked for activity because I was getting all this set up. But back to my notifications. This guy was angry at me for talking in the game, and I wasn't being mean or anything. I wasn't trolling. I wasn't, giving people problems. I was just kind of being friendly, seeing how people were, talking about how I think the game could do this, trying to be social and ask people what they think about the game. Nobody was really responding, but I kept talking anyways because, I like to talk. I'm a social guy. I mean, I make YouTube videos. I make YouTube content. I stream on Twitch. I like the social aspect of gaming and just socializing in general, period. I think a lot of you, if you're in the gaming world, it's safe to say that people don't like people who talk. People, they call it yapping, I guess, nowadays, especially the kids. They call it yapping. Like, if you say anything more than like 3 words, you're yapping. You say anything that's even remotely close to something they disagree with, you're yapping. You state the most wise and beautiful statements ever to be announced publicly or privately or in anywhere, you're yapping. And this type of mentality has led to me being muted temporarily when I was doing absolutely nothing. Now, I was getting heated with him, and I called him probably stupid, a couple of names and whatnot, but I wasn't being vulgar with him. I wasn't like, doing what the normal kids would do and saying like racist things, the N-word, or like, your mom this, your mom. I don't say that type of thing ever. Like, when I argue with someone or I have a heated predicament with somebody, it's more civilized and I'm more like genuine and I'm more mature about it. And most of the time I will just be more like calm about it and just talk. But for some reason, people get this antsy, aggressive response to that, and like people just randomly they get triggered by you literally being a good person. Like, literally, I'm not joking with you. There are most people who are gaming, they just hate you for talking. Like, their parents didn't love them, or like they have no friends, which is kind of weird because my parents weren't the best parents and I don't have any friends right now because, but the difference is my friends they left me because we grew up and we kind of broke apart. I mean, there's some drama in there, but like, I don't know. That's my reason. Their reason, I can only imagine. I mean, they probably were just mean, cruel people that nobody wants to be around, is what I'm assuming, because just the way they react to somebody who merely is just being friendly or normal, like a normal person, it like infuriates them. And obviously they've reported me. Now, this report is from somebody who I reported who was using the N-word, and they were they're being very hostile, making threats to me, talking about personal things that I would never do. Like, I don't do that type of stuff. I never would. I don't need to. It's just, that's disgusting, and it just shows that you're kind of have a low IQ type of mentality is how I look at it. I shouldn't say that, but small brain type of mentality is what I'll call it. But anyways, and those people reported me too. I shouldn't have deleted the other notification, but I had a notification that said that that I got like a warning, like, hey, like somebody reported you. And it was a group of people who like lured me into something. They were talking smack to this girl. And I was like, yo, like you can't, like, don't do that, like blah, blah, blah. And then of course, you know, the typical, oh, you're a simp, you're a white knight. Like, bro, like I'm not going to take a bullet for this girl. It's just like, stop dogging her. Like they were like being nasty to her, bro. And like, these are grown men, or they're supposed to be grown men, talking down to like this chick who didn't really sound that mature and that old. So I assume that she was young. She was at the most in her like early 20s, maybe. And that's pretty young, especially these days. That's like super young. And they were just dogging her, talking crap to her, you know, saying the good. Basically, they're Twitter Xing her, is what I'll call it. It's like how they act on Twitter X. I call it Twitter X. They were acting like that, but verbally on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And I'm not picking on Call of Duty because this is everywhere. This is every game you go to. It's on Valorant. It's in League of Legends. It's in, you know, it's everywhere you go with communications. Any type of communications, this stuff is there. And quite frankly, I'm getting tired of it. And not only that, but it's like they're getting tired of it. Activision is, and of course, many other gaming companies are, which obviously is completely normal. Like I get it, but now they're punishing everybody. Like they don't know how to. I don't know what it is these days, but companies are so bad, or they just don't want to take the time or money to implement something that actually specifically captures people who are actually toxic. They're just telling everyone to shut up. And like, I didn't even get to mute this guy, or I didn't even get to report this guy because like, even though he was being nasty to me, he sounded like, okay, like, yeah, he's being nasty to me, but he might be a good guy underneath. Maybe he's just misguided. So I didn't report him. You know, some guys I feel like that. Some chicks I feel like that too. Chicks I feel more like that too. Not because I'm a simp or I'm a white knight, but because I know, like, come on guys, let's be honest. Like chicks are way more sensitive than us. They don't think as like critically as us. I'm sorry, women. Like, I know there's smart women out there who do think critically. Like, I'm not dogging you as a woman, but there are definitely more women, at least in my personal experience, who are not as like in tune with reality as guys are. And that's just generalizing based on my anecdotal experience online. So with that said, it's like, I don't know. I just don't understand why people are like this, you know? And like I said, I forgive them and then I move on. I don't report it. But then some of you, like, you just go and you'll report me when you're the one who started talking crap to me, bro. Like, I wasn't even bothering this guy. I was playing the game. I was talking and chatting it up a little bit, trying to fucking, you know, be friendly, whatever. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off whiny and getting a little emotional right now. I promise you it's not as deep. It's deep, but it's not as, I'm not infuriated. I'm being intense about it because this is just, it's so, I mean, to me, it's so embarrassing for them. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it just makes them look so brutish and just oblivious to reality. Like, you're getting frustrated and mad at me. I didn't do anything to you. All you have to do is mute me. And I wish I recorded it, and I'm going to try to capture one of these altercations one of these days and show you guys, you know, just directly how I experience it. So you guys know I'm not BSing you. You could probably tell by how I'm talking, though, that I'm not a BSer, bro. You could watch all my videos. I'm not a BSer. I don't mess around. You know, I say what it is as clearly as possible without being rude or without being too vulgar or anything like that. But yeah, we're in a time where we, the good people who just are defending ourselves and defending our own dignity and our own, you know, aura of kindness, we are getting punished for just being ourselves, basically. There's the freedom of speech is dwindling. Look at this. It is literally dwindling. This is where it starts. I mean, well, first it starts on the social media, then it's going to go into our games, and soon it's going to come out in reality, and it's going to just take over the world, and people are going to be running around dictating our lives. And of course, this is not going to happen in an instant. So, I know some of you are like, oh, you're exaggerating. It's like, I'm actually not really exaggerating. Like, this is actually snowballing into a real thing. And this is proof of it. Well, it's not solid proof, but this is almost proof of it. It's like pseudo proof, I guess. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, 14 minutes ago. So this just happened. I think when I started this video, it was like at 5 minutes or 7 minutes. So, this just happened. And I had to just jump on video, and I had a feeling to record my gameplay, because sometimes I record it because I just want to see how, people interact, or my gameplay, or, something funky happens. I can catch it like a glitch, or, someone cheating, yada, yada, yada. So I can report it on YouTube and let the people know what's going on, kind of tune you into what's happening online in the gaming world, particularly with Black Ops 6, especially considering it just came out. But, I didn't. And so, we missed it, but it's the results are still here. This is obvious, solid proof that the result is there. But it's so sad. Like, I can't even talk and be myself. I can't like imagine if I was like just streaming and having a good time, which I usually do. I should say I do sometimes. I don't usually, but like every now and then I will. Like, I'll just have a little fun and see. I don't usually put it on my YouTube though channel, because it doesn't catch me as entertaining enough for you guys. So I won't upload it onto my channel. But I'll try sometimes until until I get the good stuff where I feel like you guys would tune into it and enjoy the entertainment. But as I was saying before I digress too far, like, if I was streaming, like, and that, like, what, like, you're just gonna be mad at me for just being a social person, and then on top of that, you're gonna report me, and then on top of that, Activision is gonna mute my communications for what I did and try to make it seem like I'm this horrible guy. Like, I'm just out here trying to troll people and hurt people. And now, I'm the one who's getting punished. The guy who started it, and the guy who exacerbated it, and the guy who made the overall experience bad is the guy who gets off the hook and gets to do what he wants. I mean, that just think about that. That is horrible, Activision. I'm sorry, but you guys really messed it. The game itself is great. There's some things that I don't like about the game, and this, I should say, is one of them now. Like, this just adds to it. There's only a few things, honestly, that I don't like about the game, but this is a heavy one. Like, me being able to communicate with people is like, I love it. I'm a social person. I'm not like all these other, like, closeted racist dweeby, like, cruel people who just don't want to talk to anybody, trying to be edgelords and antisocial and like, oh, I don't got a big mouth. But then, like, it's funny because ironically, those are the people who like don't even mean what they say when they do speak. The little that they do, they're quiet and they don't say anything, and they want you to stay quiet, and they want you to be nobody. They want you to be insecure. They want you to be antisocial. They want you to hate everything. They want you to be like them so badly. And it's like, I'm not going to conform to that. And I think, honestly, this is on Activision, because they either need to let us all say what we want and just let it ride, or actually take the time to punish people who are really actually being toxic. And it's the same thing on League of Legends. I'm going to digress a little bit to League of Legends, because that's one of my main games. I love that game, League of Legends. So fun. It's the same thing over there. People are just, yapping. They'll get you to say something, a little bit controversial, and then they report you right away. It's like they bait you into saying something, which, to be fair, I don't really take the bait usually. But I'll say like some like mean-ish things. I just won't go flat out and just be a jerk or anything. But like, I'll be like, oh, you know what? You can't even win a game. Or like, I'll say like more silly insult type of things. I won't like blatantly call you a freaking, some disrespectful word or anything like that. Like, I let it ride out. Those days were way behind me. Like, I'm going to be honest. I used to be a toxic person, but to be fair, I wasn't the toxic type that was on the offense. I would never just be toxic to people. I would be counter toxic. And what that is, it's when you're toxic, but you're only toxic because people are being toxic to you. And I admit, I used to fall for that all the time, and I was that guy. But I guess because I'm older now, I'm wiser, I'm smarter, I learned from my experience, and I got banned but from League of Legends permanently for it. I'm different now, and I've grown up. I'm not like that, but it's like I was never the guy to tell people to shut up or like to get mad at someone for just playing. Like if you're just doing what you're doing, like I don't care what you do or how you do it. Just don't rage at me and don't be toxic to me. That's it. That's literally it. I don't care what you say, blah blah blah. Do what you're gonna do. Say what you could even be mad at me like, "Oh my god, dude, you suck. Like what are you doing?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, you suck." And, oh, okay, and then we move on. But it's like people are given the tool these days to censor people and to just shut people up and silence people. Like it's just like straight out of a movie, textbook movie. Like they're just out here whipping us with whips and trying to chain us down with chains and lock us up for merely speaking any type of counter or contrary ideology to somebody, or just in general, just general conversation that's counter to what you're saying. And I mean, I can go on about this forever. I've already been talking for like 15 minutes. I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. And obviously, I'm bothered by it. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a baby. I know how a lot of you think, oh, you know, you're just being a bit yada yada. Yeah, I get it. But you got to understand, like, this is really serious. Like, these people are trying to take our speech away. And it's not even necessarily their fault. It's the fault of you and I, the community. Not specifically you and not specifically me, but our community is the community that's messing it up. We're destroying ourselves. But people are trying to blame these companies because they're struggling to fix it. But we are the problem that they're trying to fix. I don't know. You guys need to just wake up, man. This is just so pathetic. And it's only for a temporary thing. I don't know how long it's going to last. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's only 10 minutes or so. I don't really know. But I mean, it affects me greatly. Like I can't talk. Like I can't talk to people. I can't get along with people. I can't be like, hey, you know, the bomb's over here if I'm playing Search and Destroy, or if I'm playing Free For All like I was. I can't be like, oh man, you're pretty good, or like, oh, you almost got me, which is literally what I do and how I talk. Anyone who's played with me will tell you that like I do say that, but they'd have to play with me, of course, for a few games because sometimes I'm just quiet and sometimes I'll just say like silly things and just be myself, you know. Well, I'm always being myself, but sometimes I'll just, you know, be just me and just talk, you know. But yeah, apparently the mute button is too hard to activate for some of you. I mean, I guess when you don't really do anything in life anyways, you know, going through that much of a procedure might be harsh on you. And I totally understand. That's not the life that I have, and that's not how I was raised. That's not what I want to be. I get things done, and you know, if I don't like you or something, I'm going to mute you. Of course, I won't mute you because, you know, I don't care to mute people because people don't bother me enough for me to mute them. They don't bother me enough for me to report them unless they cross that toxic line. Like you say something harsh to me, like, you know, being blatantly racist or consistently hateful, like really hateful, then yes, I'll report you. And as you can see, they'll just take action because most of the time, the people I do report, they're nasty and they will get in trouble because like it's the stuff that like, excuse me, these companies can't ignore. It's just too blatant and vulgar to ignore. So yeah. Anyways, I keep on going back and forth with this, but end of the story. My point is like, what are you doing, Activision? Stop punishing the good, punish the evil, or don't punish anything at all. Okay, you're gonna destroy the community by doing this. See, here it is. This is just crazy. But yeah, so if you're experiencing this, don't worry, I get it. If you're the ones that are causing this and you're the toxic ones, you guys need to grow up, man. Like you need to grow up, go touch some grass, you know. Like I'd say talk to a girl, but I feel like you would just harass her and make her feel weird and awkward. So I really don't know what to say to you, bro. Like get therapy, you know, pray, do some push-ups or something. I don't know. Do something with yourself, man, because bringing everyone down, bringing the community down is just, it's not working for us, bro. You need to grow up. Ladies, you too, you do the same thing. Sometimes you're even worse. and it's horrible. You follow the guys sometimes, and it's like, why? Just stop. But, you know, at the end of the day, everyone's doing it. And gamers like me who are just trying to have a good time and be social and game, you know, enjoy the community are affected by it in a very negative way. And it's not good. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is Skoda based and, you know, game to your heart's content. Peace out.
Requesting CUAV.
Cloaker above. Cranking music. Counter UAV. 50% fuel remaining.
Enemy forces have destroyed your CUAV.
Damn it, Crimson, that's not good enough.
I do not suffer defeat.
Damn, I almost caught up. Big moist.